I've been playing Infinity Nikki since the closed beta every single day, and I can confidently say I seriously know everything there is to know about this game. So today I've decided to share all of this experience with not only the good stuff, but also bad stuff and criticisms that I have as well as an endgame player. In case you're considering to play this game and want to hear a POV from someone who knows what they're talking about, because there is a lot of people talking about this game that haven't even opened it. Oh, and please keep in mind, this is not sponsored by Infinity Nikki. But first, let's talk about one of the best things of Infinity Nikki in my personal opinion. Then I'll talk about the sort of like not as good and also the bad, as well as monetization and creative expression, some other topics that I think are really important. First of all is the exploration. I personally think that this is, if you're someone who likes to explore open world games, Infinity Nikki is one of the best there is out there, and I seriously mean it. They not only design beautiful maps for you to explore, they are huge, full of stuff to do, but they also added so many novelty mechanics and features scattered across the maps that makes the exploration really proper fun and also feels like the world is alive and filled in. Everywhere you look, there is something to collect. Everywhere you look, there is something to interact with. Everywhere you look, there is an NPC with a little quest. So there is truly a huge focus on exploration, and every time I see other people talking about Infinity Nikki, it seems that they overlook this very strong point about this game. Honestly, to me personally, this is the selling point of this game. The exploration is just one of the best. You could think that it's essentially a mix of Zelda, Breath of the Wild with Mario Galaxy with other gacha games like Wuthering Waves or Genshin Impact. For example, right now I'm in the camera mode and everything you can see here is fully explorable. All of these places you can head over to, jump around, interact with. So I'm gonna show you a little bit of how the exploration looks on the day-to-day, even for a kind of like end-game player like myself. So when you start exploring, you will see all sorts of things. For example, here we have a little family of bugs, and I can actually use my bug catching ability to catch all of these bugs at once. Also that dragonfly there. When I use the ability, I'll catch the bugs. As you can see, my outfit has changed, and this is a feature of the abilities because Nikki is essentially like a magical girl. She does magical transformations into other outfits when she uses different abilities, but I'm going to talk about the abilities in more detail in a bit. As you explore the world, you can find all sorts of things. Sometimes you find mechanisms like this that will propel you upwards so you can reach higher spots. You have animals to pet as well and fish to fish. Some of them will run away from you. So for example, these bugs run away if you get too close. These 3 blue ones here. So yeah, I couldn't get them. Some of the plants that you gather need special interactions with. So for example, this mechanical tree, you actually need to use your mechanical ability to infuse it with battery, and that will drop the materials for you. And this is just a small gimmick from this specific map. Every map comes with different mechanics and gimmicks for you to interact with. Some features are just there to help you navigate the map and explore better. Like for example, this mechanism here, you can infuse it with some battery and then you can plunge on it, and you also get propelled upwards like this. And for example, there is some boxes for me to break. That could be a chest in here or some materials. As you can see, I just got some fruits and things. If you play right now, there is a really cool climbing ability that makes climbing super easy and fast. You can just like hop on a wall like this and she will climb. And it works on uneven walls as well, like mountains and things like that. It's really, really helpful and useful. It's kind of like anti-Nunnally ability. If you have played that game, it is quite similar. You can just hop on different surfaces and she will climb instantly. This ability is really proper good. So if you're considering to start playing the game, I do recommend you play right now so you can try to get this ability because it's really life-changing for exploration if you care about that. You can collect tons of things around the map. They are not just materials, but also music records to play music in your home, or lore books so you can read some of the lore, which I'll talk about a lot later as well in this video. You can try to hunt for all of the different types of Asalines. So here you can check collect not just materials and creatures, but also the monsters that you can defeat, including bosses that you can find in certain maps, each boss having their own mechanics and unique way for you to defeat them. Not only the map is super huge, which I'm gonna show you here. I'm right now at the Heaven's Reach map, which was just added in this update, but the map is massive even though we're still on the second year of the game. This is update 2.8. We haven't even reached the 3.0 yet, and the map is already massive. We also have the region of the Boneyard. We also have the Elderwood Forest. We also have this weird place that we can't head over yet that was just teased. I'm very excited to explore. We have the Abandoned District, which is this bunch of islands. We have the Breezy Meadows and Floral Wish, which is all part of the region Wishfield, as well as the Wishing Woods, which is also a cute little fairy forest. All of them are completely unique and have their own kind of mechanics and views, which I'll show you in a bit. But not only you have the full map like that, you also have separate islands with even more areas to explore. So we have the Firework Isles, we have Serenity Island, we have Dungeon Island, which is one of my personal favorites. I love this region. We have Spira, which is a gigantic city inside a giant shell. And we also have the Wholesome Realm, which is also one of my personal favorites. It's a really cool place to explore. We have a co-op map where you can find other people that you don't know. It's like a multiplayer area, which you can also deactivate, but I'll talk about the co-op in a bit. And we have our home island where you can build this entire island however you want, pretty much. But I'll also talk about the house building in a bit because it was bad at first, but they have improved a lot in recent updates. So I think I definitely need to talk in detail about that. But overall, as you can see, the map is huge and they actually add new areas, new regions to the game. 4 times every year, they are adding a whole new region like those here. So it's a lot of map to explore. It's a lot of area and they update so much. I actually don't know how they do it because the maps are so big and so full of everything to do in them that it's just impressive that they can release so much, so many maps every year. So it's very highly focused in exploration, at least in my personal opinion. You also find other places that you can enter, like the caves. And some of the caves are so cool. Like in this new map, when you complete the caves, you actually affect the city itself in some ways. Like you turn on the bell tower, you can fix the bridge and things like that. And as you can see on the background, the caves are seriously amazing. They are one of my favorite parts as well. I love exploring them. They're kind of like mini dungeons for you to explore, little domains, but they are so fun, full of puzzles and platforming, which is a really big part of Infinity Nikki exploration, is the platforming. And speaking of platforming, they also have these domains that are kind of different in design and they are fully focused on platforming challenges. It's very easy puzzles, but also very fun. And they essentially teach you how to use all of the abilities and mechanics of the game. I truly love these, which are called hero domains. Not to mention some of the buildings that you can actually enter that looks super cool inside. Like, look at this. This is just a building in one of the maps. It looks really amazing. And it has other mechanics here in this different map here. But I'll show you all of the different maps just so you can see the static and visuals of them. But in this area here, which is called the Boneyard, it's very centered around the dragons. So you can find these statues here where any statue you interact with, you will start flying and you can freely fly around the map to reach higher spots or look from the high ground and explore new areas, trying to find new chests, new deals and collectibles and things like that. And each of these regions come with unique mechanics, unique abilities, hidden secrets for you to find here and there, secret caves, hidden shops, and more. So all of the exploration not only is really fun, but also very varied because we have 4 new regions every year and they're all very different from each other. So before we move on to the next topic, this was the biggest topic, okay? I'm gonna stop yapping about exploration now. But before we do that, I just want to show you a little bit of each map just so you can see the kind of like flavor of each region. To do that, I'm actually gonna use one of the mounts, but we do have certain mounts in the game like bikes, a unicorn, the lion, the snails. Some of them are free, some of them are from banners, and some of them are paid, but the mounts really help you traverse the world for exploration because it is quite big. I'm gonna hide the UI and I'll show you a little bit of each region. So this is the Flora Wish region, which is part of Wishfield, which is a sub-nation of the game. As you can see, it's very cottagecore, very European inspired. It's super flowery. There's flowers everywhere. It is so pretty. And this is one of the main towns. So it has a lot of NPCs walking everywhere. And there's a lot to do around here when you first start the game. You have the option to start from another region as well, which I'll show you in a second. But yeah, here you can see a lot of greenery, a lot of trees, a lot of waterfalls everywhere. And it's also next to a giant lake called the Silken Lake. We also have the Wishing Woods, which is a fairy forest with a giant tree in the center. And this giant tree is actually where the fairies live in. And a really fun ability that I love from this region specifically is the Shrinking Nikki ability, where Nikki can shrink in size to explore the fairy town with Momo instead, which is her cat companion. So here are the blue fairies. I'm gonna shrink in size, and now my Nikki is on the back of Momo, which is the cat companion. Yes, that's his outfit that I'm using for him, but you can also customize his outfit, which I'll show you in a bit as well when we talk about character customization. But anyways, this is like a whole fairy town where the villagers are really tiny, and you can be tiny too to interact with the special mechanics here. We have the Breezy Meadows, which has this massive castle to explore. It is in ruins and abandoned though. There is no NPCs in there other than some spooky ones that showed up in some quests, like ghosts and things like that. But the Breezy Meadows is not just the abandoned castle. It also has these bug-filled areas where you can catch so many bugs. It's so helpful to farm materials around here, and it's kind of like these grasslands. You have a lot of open green areas, very typical of gacha games like these. This is one of the worst maps in my personal opinion because it's quite empty other than gathering materials. So if you're not interested in gathering materials at that point, there isn't really that much stuff to do in this specific map, I would say. So in my personal opinion, since I love exploring, I feel like this is one of the worst ones. Then we have Stoneville, which is this flower fields area, and it's so beautiful, especially for taking photos, which is a really cool thing to do in this game as well. If you love taking photos, the photography mechanic is amazing. I'll also detail it more in this video later on. Then we have the Abandoned District, and it's full of these really crazy stone islands. It's a really cool map, but I personally thought it was annoying to explore because it's full of verticality. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention there is some maps with some vehicles that you can hop on to traverse the map as well. I forgot about that actually. So here there is in this specific map a water train that you can wait for it to arrive, and you can hop on it to traverse around the islands as well. Of course, you need to do quests sometimes to unlock those, but some of the maps do have like boat trains and also robots that you can hop on to navigate. And moving on to the maps, we also have the Firework Isles, which, as the name suggests, has tons of fireworks every night when you explore. Doesn't matter the day. As long as it's nighttime, there will be fireworks in there. Then this bathhouse map, that all of this pink stuff is actually like bubbles and soap. It's a weird map. This one had a weird design in my opinion, but it was still fun to explore though. The Dungeon Island, which has this forest of bamboo and some really pretty lakes with rafts, cherry blossoms, and all sorts of like really beautiful landscape for you to explore. It is so huge. I love the rice fields. It's one of my favorite parts, as well as the cherry blossom forest, which is this one here with a huge pagoda on the background. The Elderwood Forest, which is so incredibly huge. I cannot show you all the different areas that you can find in this map. This map is proper amazing. It has so much variety. You have the foresty beats, you have the Titans Ruins, which is the Coliseum, and all of these like gladiator statues across the map. They're really, really cool. It's such a nice map, really well designed. I'll show you a little bit here of the Coliseum bits with the giant statues. This map comes with one of my favorite abilities, which is the gigantification, where Nikki can become like a huge person. I'll show you really quickly. But again, I'll talk about the abilities in a bit. And there is so much variety in this map. You have these like autumn looking forests with these ruins. The Titan's Graveyard, which is so beautiful and eerie. This giant city located inside a snail shell that is just absolutely massive. It's called the Spira, just like the Final Fantasy one. Then we have the Boneyard map, which is one of the best ones. It looks very elven-like. you know, like the elves from Lord of the Rings kind of vibes. You have like this giant city that looks amazing, has amazing music as well. I love hearing the NPCs talk because they have their own language of sorts. That sounds kind of like Elven. This city is honestly one of the best. Like, look at this. So cool to explore as well. There are many mechanics. And here in this map, you can interact with those statues to go flying around. And this map also has these watery, refreshing blue maps and lakes and ponds as well. That is very summery. Oh, and I also forgot to mention the dungeons, which are amazing to explore as well. Like, look at this. This is so gorgeous. And head over these areas with these flower paths. And the music is simply amazing. Then we have Heaven's Reach, which is this steampunk kind of map that looks absolutely incredible. It's so fun to explore. Definitely the best map that they have ever released. Also, yeah, I changed to the unicorn because the lion wouldn't shut up. So I never really noticed how noisy the lion is. Then we have one of my personal favorites, which is the wholesome realm. And it is so beautiful, so alive. There's so much to do around this map as well. And there is also a floating boat there, which is the vehicle in this area in case you don't have this flying ability that I'm using right now. Flying around is really cool if you do have this outfit. It is so much fun. Oh, actually, I haven't collected this. And everything that you can see, you can reach to explore. And this is one of my favorite parts. For example, something really cool is that huge floating island over there, you can actually fly all the way to there through the sky like this and explore that one island as well. And there is even an alternate realm around here as well, which I'm not going to show you because it's a spoiler. And some of the best parts of the map, I think it's better that I don't show you in case you do want to play the game after this. Then we also have the multiplayer map where you can see people that you've never met. It's just strangers playing the game as well. You can approach them and illuminate them, or you can sit down on these benches around the map to talk to them first and then befriend them. And if they place their props around, like this person did, you can interact with the props and use them even if you don't have that prop, which is really cool. If you have the new ability, you can also exchange outfits and do some other things as well. Props being these special items that you can interact with to take photos and see special animations, interactions, and songs when you use them. And the last area you have to explore is the home island. So of course you have your own home island that you can build freely. This one here is mine. I made kind of like a little tower there with a cottage and a garden with some mushroom trees and this giant wisteria with some dragon bones in there. There's like waterfalls and things like that. So you can truly build very freely. It's a really cool building system that only improved over time. When it was released, it wasn't fantastic, which I'll talk about in a second, but the house build system is really proper good now. And I love visiting other islands, which is something that you can do even if you don't have friends in the game. You can just approach this signpost and you can find other people's islands to visit at any time that you want. And this is personally one of my favorite things to do in the game because this is essentially an infinite amount of maps for you to explore. Even though there is nothing to collect, there is a lot of sights to see, and witness people's creativity in this game is just so fun. I do that on live streams every week. I do like a share stream where people can join and share their own islands and looks and things like that. Honestly, this is like a great portion of my enjoyment with the game. is just seeing people's creations as well as exploring, of course, which I already mentioned. Like, for example, this is Liam's, one of the viewers' islands, and we just visited that on stream, and I was just like, what the heck? You built a whole town here? How did you even do that? That's kind of crazy. Then we have the second core gameplay mechanic, I would call it, which are the abilities. So I'm gonna show you a few of my favorite abilities, but there are so many, and you normally go to your wardrobe ability setup to choose how you want to customize your ability wheel. There's so many abilities, as you can see here on the sides, 2 of them being fixed. So it's the combat ability, which you can use archery or magic. Essentially, purification is kind of like just a catalyst in other gachas, and as well as the floating, which allows you to float and double jump. These 2 are fixed, everything else can be customized, and we have so many abilities. I have a wheel for my home where I can use an ability to build. I can use an ability to go cooking, which I love the mini games for the cooking. You can go fishing. You can plant plants because you can have your own little farm in your home island. You can gather items in area and regrow them. You can change face shapes and make illusions, as well as collect blings, which is the money, as a magnet, which is super useful. You have the mount, which is what I was using earlier. I have the unicorn and the lion, which you can all customize the outfits. These are all made by myself, so you can all change all of the abilities outfits to whatever you prefer. Then we have the gigantification ability, which for me, I made kind of like a Alice in Wonderland kind of ability there. We have the ice skater, which is a climbing ability. We have the sticky claw, which is essentially Spider-Man ability. I don't even know how to call this. It's kind of like hooks, and then you can, I guess it's like a grapple hook ability. And we've got the bug catching. We've got the petting animals, all the classic life theme farming abilities, you know, mechanics you have in this game as well. We have the mechanist, which can interact with mechanical objects around the map, which I showed earlier. We've got the gliding to glide around the map in only certain regions. We have the deer, which lets you fly on that specific map that I was flying earlier. We have the summon companion ability, which is really useful. You can summon these friends to help you in battle if you struggle with the combat. You have like customization for the companion that you want to summon. You have actual NPCs and also creatures. Then we have the ability to walk on water and so on. Like, there are so many abilities. I can't really show you all of them, but there is also novel stuff that doesn't really have a proper purpose and is just for taking photos or making music. We have tons of music abilities, actually. I personally do not know how to play any music of any sort, so I don't actually use the music abilities. But anyone who knows how to play music, you can use these musical abilities to play music in the game as well, if you wish to do so. And every new map that they release a bunch of new abilities to go with it. So all the time we are getting new mechanics and events and interactions to get to explore around. So it's really, really cool. Every time we get the new map, we know we are getting a new ability set with new things to do and interact with. And again, we have some really creative stuff like the gigantification ability, which makes you be really big like that. We have the ice skater that can climb the walls really fast and really easily. Like, you just jump like that and you act like a magnet in the walls. You can just do that and even jump around if you want to. You have different kinds of dashes. This one here is my favorite because it's super fast. Then we have the Spider-Man ability that lets you hook into things like that, like bugs and other places around the map. But not every map can have this. At least not so far. So some abilities are kind of restricted to certain maps, but it really depends on the one. And you can also always find chests and materials. Again, the exploration is really, really expansive. There's so much to do. You have like these little deals that you want to shoot as well, to exchange for rewards and outfits and pieces and crafting recipes. The mechanist ability, which I mentioned earlier, is one of my favorites. It is so cool. It lets you interact with every single robot in this steampunk map. You can deactivate or activate them to do multiple different things. For the completionists, there are tons of achievements. I would say that the first year of achievements weren't too difficult. As you can see, I have almost 100% on everything. But with each new year, there comes a new tab of achievements, and there's so many. And they only got better, at least in my opinion. The achievements are now really fun. Sometimes it's hard to understand them. The UI isn't the best, but you can always read and see new things to do in the game. The achievements is actually a really good place for you to have a look at the kind of like an overview of all the features and content that you have to explore and experience in this game. There is tons of free outfits and clothing pieces. This is a dress-up game after all. It's very central around outfits and clothes and character customization, but we do get a lot that you get for free that you can craft at your own time, and it's all permanent as well, at least these ones that you can craft. There are also event outfits that are kind of temporary. You have like that one update to obtain them, and then you can craft them. Like this one, for example, is a free event outfit. So if you're just looking into the game right now during this update and you complete all of the tasks on the event, which are super easy, you get this full outfit, which is super cute. And every update we have a free event outfit that is temporary during that update. But we also have all of the permanent free rewards. There are so many that we just collected for free from chests, sketches, events, and so on. And a really good point of Nikki in comparison to other gachas is that the daily tasks are extremely quick. Sometimes I just exchange my energy with a singular click. So for example, I have 76 energy here. I can just head over to one of those realms, click quick challenge, infuse, and that's it. I spent my energy. And sometimes you just spend all of your energies and collect your daily rewards, and that's it. Your daily tasks are done. You can do some other stuff as well, but they are not a must. They are completely optional. It depends on the things that you're interested on. Like for example, the home building has, like that system has daily tasks that they're quite easy and quick as well, but are optional in case you do care about the house build or not. But what really matters is that all of the gacha banners are just clothes, so it's truly entirely optional. There is some clothes that comes with really useful abilities like this outfit here, but we get around 100 pulls per update, and you just need less than 200 to get an outfit. So every 2 updates you can get one of the 5-star banners, which is fully guaranteed. But again, I'll talk about monetization a bit because there is upsides, but there is also massive downsides to the monetization, which I'll talk about later in this video. But yeah, the banners are just aesthetic. So truly, you do not need any of these because they're just clothing. So I feel like the relaxing experience that comes with this game is not stopped by the fact that it's a gacha in this particular case. And talking about this being a dress-up game, I would say that this is the third big pillar of the Infinity Nikki experience. So I would say world exploration, the abilities, variation, and just gimmicks and novelty of it, and the creative expression of the player. This creative expression can be broken down in 3 other parts, which is the character customization, the photos, you know, it's so detailed. The photo taking feature is amazing, which we'll have a look in a sec. And also the house building. These 3 are really the bread and butter of the creative expression here of you as a player. For the outfits, we have so many. There are maybe too many even, as you can see from the bar here. It's huge. There are so many outfits, and the UI is definitely not great, which is a massive downside for me. I really hope that they fix the UI over time. They have been improving it, but I would say it's definitely not the best ever. And sometimes it's a bit of a pain to navigate through this massive wardrobe with tons and tons of outfits. But overall, you have a lot of styles available. You can make so many different unique outfits and combinations. You can clip things through. Sometimes you can stack some kinds of accessories. However, that said, I will say that me as a old-time player who has been playing this game since the start, since the closed beta, although I do recognize there is a lot of varied styles in the game today, it's not varied enough in my personal opinion. Like, there is a certain preference to a certain style, which involves a lot of puffy skirts and puffy dresses, a lot of pearls and glitter and sparkles, which nothing wrong with that. But I would personally appreciate a little bit more variety just to make this perfect. So as we get the updates and we get more outfits and they get more feedback, we'll probably have more variation. But it's really cool that all of these outfits have multiple different parts and pieces that you can completely mix and match with each other. So you can use one hair from one outfit with a dress from another, or maybe you want to use a shirt with pants instead, or maybe you want like a skirt maybe, or like really short shorts. You can just use whatever with whatever. It's completely up to you really how you're gonna style your character. The biggest point that they need to improve for this to be perfect would be just the skin colors. I think there is a lack of skin colors in the game. This is something that has been a massive complaint from me since the start of the game, since the beta even, is that we only have 4 skin colors available and 2 of them are very light. But at least you have a lot of variation for the hair. So you have more curly styles, you have wavy styles, you have straight hair like this. You have some crazy funky styles like this one and this one. They are really cute. You have some hairs with like gradients. You have really long hairs as well with different styles, like a more straight version here with some waves. You have some animated hairs. This one is kind of weird in my opinion. Then you have braids and ponytails and pigtails. You also have this very curly hair that I absolutely love. And overall, you can just make really random combinations. So for me, I love fantasy kind of looking outfits. So I make this glamorous harpy. I currently have this glamorous harpy, this witchy academy kind of outfits. I have this black swan inspired ice skater. I have my little rat. That's my favorite outfit. I use it to explore. Really love this one. And then I have this kind of like Dia inspired, you know, Dia from Genshin Impact, but also kind of like more fitting with the map. Then I have this pirates that I'm using currently. And I have this steampunk maid to explore the new map. So sometimes I like to do outfits to fit in with the map that I'm exploring, sometimes to fit in with a random character or D&D class or like whatever. Like you can just always customize and do new, completely different styles if you wish to. And then you have this lookbook page, which is essentially a social media for each person where you can upload your outfits and photos for other people to look and like whenever they want. So you can post like your own outfits that you love, or you could post your favorite cosplays. Like I cosplayed Saritsa from Genshin Impact, and then I post here and people can see and not only like, but they can also click to use that scheme. And then when they click on that, if they have the pieces, they will all get the color customization that I've done and they can apply to their pieces as well. So I personally love doing cosplays, and there's a lot of people who love doing cosplays as well. So even if you don't care much about doing your own character customization, you can do cosplays like this one is Diva from Overwatch, this is Noelle from Genshin, Hotori from NTE, Coco from Witch Hat Atelier, Toph, Beifong from Avatar The Last Airbender, and so on. So you can just have fun doing cosplays like that. It's like Aura from Freeren, Fern from Freeren, Donald Duck, pretty much my best cosplay, I would say. Which takes us to one of my favorite parts of the game that is still not amazing, like it still needs to be improved, and I actually put in the bad part of this video, but I personally have tons of fun with, is the dye customization. So every outfit that you have, you can also change their colors in parts. So for example, this dress here has 20 different parts that you can dye individually in whatever color you want here. The problem with the dye system is that it's slightly expensive for the 5-star outfits. You need to get evolutions if you want more colors available. So if you want a color wheel like this, you need to get all of the evolutions. So you need to pull more. It's kind of like a constellation or a extra copy of a character when you pull on a gacha. But again, we'll talk about this downside later. For the creative expression is still really fun though. So for example, here I have like this dress, and then I also have this dress in black and purple, also black and reds. And then I did like a tavern green brown version and a gray and purple version, as well as a gray and brown version and a light lavender with blues. So you can just like customize them and save them in these slots, and you have like different variations of each outfit that you can dye with more unique colors. This is so much fun and it's perfect for cosplays. And even if you don't have a certain color available, so for example, this dress here, I don't have all of the evolutions, so I don't have access to the black color here, but I can still dye it in black and I can still upload to my lookbook. So in the future, when I have this color, I can import it, or I can simply share for other people to see. You can check on the overworld, you can screenshot from there. You can just do this to share with others or take a little screenshot to post on social media, whatever. So you can still do the cosplays and show others your cosplays, even if you can't actually save it and walk around the map with it. It's still really fun that we can experiment with the colors regardless. Also, some of the outfits have special effects, so you can turn them on and off here. So this dress here has these little ghosts. You can always click on this button to check them out in the open world light instead. So here you can see what the ghosts look like. When you shake her, the ghosts go running away. But if you stay still with Nikki, then the ghosts will reappear. It's really cute. Sometimes you do want to turn those effects off. Of course, you can also change the lighting here. So you can see, oh, the ghost doesn't really show up at night. So I guess I want to turn it off. You can also turn it off if you prefer to. So that's really cool as well. And some of the 5 stars have alternative piece details. So this one can be extended and also shortened, this dress here. So there is a lot, you know. It's hard to show you everything in this video, but I just want to give you an idea of how much flexibility you have with the character customization, because it's kind of insane, to be honest. Then we have the amazing camera feature, and it's so good for taking photos. So if you enjoy taking photos, you can head over here at any time, pretty much. You can even pause mid-action, and you have so many options. You can hide Nikki to take photos of the background. You can put Momo in, which is your cat companion. You can focus on Nikki or not. You can change the focal length. You can blur the background or unblur it. You can rotate. Like, it's just so crazy. You have grades. You can turn off NPCs and other things. You can put like a vignette and increase the light or decrease the light. You can make like low exposure or tons of exposure. It's so in detail. Like, this is one of the best cameras I have seen in video games overall. It just allows you to do so much. There is other games that have really cool cameras as well, but I think this is definitely one of the, like, it's among the best ones, I would say. And you have tons of different poses, and every update adds new poses for you to use. So for example, this one here is kind of like a pose where she shoots with the gun here. So some of them use your handheld items as part of the pose, and some don't. It depends on the pose, of course, but you have poses that you can play, and you can also pause at any time. Some of them have like special effects and magic, and you can also pause them if you want them like a specific expression, like the wind here. You can just pause with the wind to take the perfect picture, and it's really cool. You can also adjust Momo whenever you want. So I'll put him next to Nikki here, rotate him, and you can also use poses on Momo as well. So I have tons of poses for him. He's like twerking in this one. And you can have different lighting options. It's crazy, like the level of detail. Some people do the most amazing combinations for these photos. And the cool thing is that once you hit like a specific filter with a specific lights and blur and so on, like a specific combination of settings, you can also export them and import them whenever you want. So your friends can also use that. Like, if you have a friend who loves taking photos and they take really good ones, they can just export their own presets, and you can just click on it and automatically start using it. Like this coffee version here that I done to make everything kind of brown. You also have other styles. You can always reset to default. I have kind of like a pink one, a pink light, depending on the photo. If I want something ethereal, I can use that. So this is really cool. Like, not only has all these poses and lights and available, you can also export and import the preset with your friends as well if you prefer. Or online, there's a lot of people who share, like on my Discord, they share their presets for things and outfits with each other freely all the time. So even if you don't have like an actual friend in real life who plays the game, you can find people online that are sharing stuff all the time. Then we have the building home system, and I personally love this feature so much, and I'll show you a little bit about it. But I do agree that it's extremely complicated to learn at first. When this system was first released in September of 2025, it was awful. It was so difficult. Nobody understood the thing. It's so hard. After a few months, not only more players started understanding the system, but also they have improved it a lot. They simplified lots of things. They reduced the load limit. Overall, got a lot more optimized. However, it's still not perfect. So this is part of creative expression. and is part of one of the pillars of the game, but is also part of the next category of topics that we're going to talk about in this video, which is good stuff that could be better. So starting with the house building, you have the building ability that you can activate at any time that you are in your home island. You can also change the time to a specific time that you prefer to build in. So for example, I don't like to build at night because I can't see anything. I only use the nighttime to see how the lights are looking like. So normally I build with the daytime on, and you can clip objects into each other and you can build pretty much everything. So as you can see here, this is a pond. I put it here. I can also remove it. So the pond is, you know, it's every single piece here. This is kind of like part of the terraforming. Every single piece can be moved. The entire island could be completely empty if you prefer. So I'm picking up this huge mountain and I can just resize it and rotate it however I prefer. So I put this tree with a mushroom in it. This is not an actual tree with a mushroom. This is a normal tree with a mushroom table in it. So let me rotate it here. This is actually just like a table, as you can see. And I grab this mushroom table and I rotate it a little bit and I clip inside the tree to make a fake mushroom tea. This is something that I learned with one of the viewers, Sabrina, in her island. I saw her doing that and I was like, what the heck? This is so clever. And now I have my fairy mushroom tree. It's really, really flexible once you get the hang of it. So I would say the learning curve is insane, but once you learn, it's so much fun to build because you have so much freedom and, you know, like just space to be creative with this. So, and there is a lot of customization, a lot of items available. So if you open your bag, you can see all of the stuff that you have available to build with. You have lamps, you have interactable items, and you also can build with items that you have. So for example, I do not have any of this little starlit towers. You see there is a 0 there. I can still build with it. I can't save it, but I can build it freely however I want. I can use as many starlit towers as I want to. And this is really, really one of the best parts of this building system because you can truly build whatever you have in mind and you can save it for later, or you can craft it from here if you prefer. So you click here and you can craft immediately and just publish, you know, from this menu. You don't need to leave here to then craft the piece that you wanted. So you can properly plan your build and build whatever you want. And then later you have like a crafting list, or you can just save for the future when you have the items that you need. Or you can also just use the item and maybe you're gonna be like, oh, I actually don't like this. I don't like how it looks. I want another item here. So it's really good for you to build your dream builds right away without any struggle here, because you can use even stuff that you don't have yet. And then you can just go on and save them and reutilize them in the future. So I'm going to show you a little bit of my house and how I built it. So for example, this is a normal tree and I put this little house roof things inside. I also put these lamps on it. Like every item you can just clip them through. And I made a little bedroom for you guys. When you visit me, you can take some photos on the bedroom if you want. It's definitely not a jail or anything like that. You can also turn off all of the collisions and fly around if you prefer. I'll deactivate the editing so we can tour it a little bit. So I've made a kitchen, I've made the living room, and I just stacked books into the fireplace, into the booking shelves, into the chandelier. I'll show you here my witchy cauldron room, for example. You can always use rugs which don't have a collision to make fake walls, so you can hide things inside, like I hid my coffin in this area. So it's really, really cool. It allows so much creativity. If you want to have a better look at the building system, I recommend you watch my island tour videos. I have a whole playlist on YouTube with all of the island tours that I've done already, and I also stream every week island tours, like touring your islands, and also looks and other things, so you can truly have a good, proper look at what is possible with the system. But I say it's not perfect because, as you can see from the look of this UI, it is not easy to learn. It will take a little while for you to start building crazy stuff like this. It will take at least a good month of you practicing with it. It is not easy. Like, again, the learning curve is kind of crazy, but it's really worth it. After you learn how to build, it is so much fun, and it allows so much flexibility. I'll put, maybe if I remember, I'll put a little bit of some of the islands that I've toured here in this section of the video. And lastly, on the home builds, you can get tons of free furniture every new new map and also every update through the Dreamland Showcase and the Decor catalog. So these ones here are just the stuff that you can find for free in the map, and then when you take a photo of them, you get the sketch to craft to your house. While this one here changes every update and has different sets of furniture. So we got this blue set here that has some alternative colors. And we have this detective set, the garden set, the patisserie, Winter Night's Embrace, which is kind of like a Christmas theme, this campsite theme, this Linglong style, which is kind of like the Asian furniture. We have this mushroom autumn furniture set. This is all for free that you can get by completing the daily tasks at the house builds, and also this Greek kind of style and this cozy cookie baking style as well. So every update there is a new set and they get discounted during that update, but you can still buy them afterwards for the original price with this special currency. Then we have the combat. The combat is good, but could be a lot better. That's why it's in this section of the video. I think that the combat is super easy, super straightforward and chill. It could be more challenging and more interesting, but so far we get only a new combat system once a year. So last year we had the mage system where Nikki is basically like a mage and she can just throw magic on enemies. So I'm going to show you here. This is the purification methods. So she uses this magic kind of, and she can press and hold to make like a charged attack. It's nothing crazy, and you have this plunge as well, which you can customize. But again, nothing crazy. It's like really, really basic. And then in this new year, the second year of the game, we have the archery. And I do love the archery, but again, I do feel like it's a little bit too easy. So I still have the archery charged attack where I can aim and shoot. And you can also customize the bow. So you can explore the world and get new bows for your Nikki. And these bows have different abilities. So this is very similar to how other gacha games work. You have different equipment, different artifacts that can customize the abilities that you have available. And then you can choose what's best for you. In Nikki though, this is not the banner. This is just a free thing that you can get from caves and dungeons and doing story quests. Or you could pull on a banner that has a special skin for that ability. So for example, this one is an outfit that has a special abilities. And then you also have this one, which is also an archery ability and also has some extra abilities besides that one as well. In the end game, they have this kind of like arena that you can do every week to get special materials to craft the miracle outfits, which is very special outfits that you get through the story. You want to do these every week just so you can, you know, keep getting all the rewards. It's part of the end game, but it's very, very quick. So you can select some effects like this. And again, if you have certain abilities, it's gonna be so easy for you. Like I just killed a whole group of Aslings with one click. So I personally think it's quite easy, especially because I do have this ability specifically. Overall, I would say that the mechanics of the Aslings, which are the monsters, is nothing too special and also not particularly creative. Not even the mini bosses that you can find across the map like these. They have very easy patterns that you can learn with time, and it reminds me of Crash Bandicoot. I don't know if you guys played this game, but it has very similar vibes to Crash Bandicoot. It's more focused on the platforming aspect of it rather than the actual like just spam your buttons kind of combat, you know? So to each their own, it depends on your style, but I just wanted to bring it up. One part of the combat that I think is really cool though is the actual story bosses, because they have amazing cutscenes, which I'm gonna cut off so you don't get spoiled. But these boss battles are really fun because they are more gimmicky and they're more unique. They do have their own patterns as well, kind of like Crash Bandicoot, but they have that wow elements that I think the other combat doesn't. As you can see, the dragon's just moving on the painting and you need to hit on the head there. So it's really cool. These ones make the combat really fun, I would say. Then we have the life sim and farming minigame kind of mechanic. So you can gather the flowers and trees that you grow every day. And yeah, these are more relevant to the home build system. And that's why I think they are not as good as they could have been, because they could improve these so much more to make them more fun and more relevant. And I think that currently it's only if you care about the home system that you're actually gonna do these. But I personally have fun doing them. So you can raise fish, you can plant plants, you can also raise animals. So for example, you can fish here with Momo, and you can also take care of your animals by petting them daily if you raise some. So here I can have all of my animals petted at once with this ability. And I have different kinds of animals, like I have these wolves and I have birds and also this deer and so on. So you can raise whatever animals you want. You need to do a music mini game with them to befriend them, and then you can invite them to your home. Then we have the stylish challenges, and these are fun, but they are very quick and they also do not need too much thinking involved. I feel like they should really work on these, add more gameplay involved. So they added this new kind of like system here where you can add the companion to help you with the stylish challenge, which is essentially a place where you have to dress up following certain themes and categories, and then you have a nice dance battle or showdown at the end that is super cute to each stylist faction. These are really cool and I love the cutscenes and the challenges, like the idea of the challenges. I just wish they added more gameplay to it. For example, in the Elderwood Forest, they added this kind of like detective gameplay where you would need to investigate where the characters were actually located in, so you could search for them, find them, and then challenge them. And I absolutely loved that. But I think that not many people liked it because now we just got a new stylist faction and they removed that. So I'm guessing people complained about it or they just gave up on that feature, but I really enjoyed when they made it a little bit more, fun to interact with. But overall, the stylish challenges are there. They give you free rewards and the dance cinematics and cutscenes are quite cute, as you can see here. And another thing that is good as it is but could be improved and have more variety is the mini games. You can find these across the map as you explore, and some of them are genuinely kind of hard and also really fun, while some of them are really fun and really hard, but you can kind of hack it by pausing the game. So for example, this mini game, you have to build the robots following the instructions, but this belt here keeps getting faster and faster. But you can also just pause and see exactly what you need to then build the robot like this. So some of the mini games are a little bit too hard, some of them are a little bit too easy, and some of them are hard, but you can kind of hack them by pausing them from time to time like this. The reason I would say that they could be better is that they could add even more variety more often and also make some of these permanent, as well as adding better rewards if they were permanent. That would incentivize us to play these mini games after we clear them at the first time. I feel like the mini games, I think what I really want to criticize here is that the mini games are really fun, love them, but the replayability is non-existent. Like once you clear them out, you're probably not going to be playing them again, and I feel like that's a problem. They should think more about that in the future. Then we have stuff that was bad but has changed significantly. So maybe you did play Infinity Nikki for a little while and now you're planning to maybe come back and you want to have a look at how the game is. So if you have left during last year, maybe you'll see tons of differences on the game now. They have done so many optimizations. The game has changed significantly. So first of all is the house building. Like I mentioned before, it has been extremely worked on so many times and it got so much better. We also have way better story now. I'm not gonna give you any spoilers, but I would say that personally, in my personal opinion, please don't be upset if you love the game, I think that last year, the entirety of the story was so bad. The first story that I enjoyed was in update 1.7, so it took 7 updates for me to actually care about the story. But from them to today, they've only got so much better. If you're a lore player, you're gonna love this because there's so much lore everywhere. You can collect lore books and read them and analyze them and interpret them to try to figure out parts of the lore. Not only that, but the outfits have lore on them as well. So you can click here, view pieces, and each piece of outfit in this entire game has a little bit of lore on them. Some of the outfits have entire stories written on them. I even made videos about these. We also have monsters with some lore in them. When you click on their entry, like in the compendium, you can click info and sometimes they tell you a little bit about that region, that Esseline, and so on. It's really, really cool. You have a lot of world building through these entries of lore in the game. And I even did a whole live stream recently just to talk about the story of this new update because everyone is completely shocked and going crazy over the story. And we had a whole stream for hours where we just yapped about theories and what we thought and felt about the story. So Honestly, the story is not perfect, but it did get a lot better. Another thing that's really good is the roadmap that they shared last year. So they shared a bunch of features and optimizations that we're working on, and we are almost done with these. So I feel like they're going to be releasing almost like a little roadmap every year to tell us everything that they're going to work on during the following year. So this year, we're almost done with all the optimizations. They really delivered on pretty much every promise that they've done, with exception of a couple that I actually covered on another video. If you want to have a look at that as well, I'll link that down below if I remember. And I think that the roadmap is really cool because it gave us a lot of stuff to look forward to, and also fixed all the issues that you may have heard already that were brought in with the infamous update 1.5. So if you haven't heard about that, we need to talk about it, because it's another thing that was really bad and got really improved, is the co-op and all of the bugs that happened during the 1.5 update. 1.5 update happens in June, or yeah, I think June of 2025, and it was proper bad. Okay, that update introduced the multiplayer and co-op systems. However, it was so incredibly buggy. Lots of players weren't able to even log into the game for days. It took them like around a week to fix the game to a bare minimum where people could actually play it. I personally was very lucky and did not experience any bugs myself. I live streamed 1.5, and I still remember the experience that I had by live streaming the 1.5 first few days, and people were entering my stream and be like, oh my god, I have a black screen, I can't even log in, and I'm like, what is happening? Because for me, like, it was working really nicely, but for the majority of players, I just looked out. The majority of players really had so many bugs. It was unbelievable. However, the bugs are completely out now. Does the game still has bugs here and there? Yes, it does have, but nothing game breaking. Everyone can play normally, and the multiplayer and co-op systems have improved a lot. We have so much to do with each other. You can invite someone to your world, and both of you can collect all of the materials double. Like when you collect the flower, you get the flower and your friend gets the flower. You can collect chests and whim stars and deals, and all of the unique player collectibles can all be collected together. You can play co-op with another person freely and do pretty much everything, with exception of the story quests, just to keep in mind. Then, if you don't have any friends to play with, you can head over to the Sea of Stars, which is this multiplayer map, and just get to meet other people. And as you can see here, you can always try to talk to them, sit down on the benches or illuminate them and make new friends, or you can just share your props to them so they use it, and maybe you can befriend them this way. So I'm gonna put like my little water fountain here. If someone wants to use that, I can also use my ability and share my outfits with them if they want to. Like, it's really sweet and really wholesome, and overall the community has been really nice. I, for example, center many of my live streams around the multiplayer system, so I can confidently say that it's working for most people and we haven't got any game breaking bugs anymore. However, the 1.5 was so bad that it kicked out lots of players, and a lot of YouTubers have covered this drama even though they haven't really played the game themselves, and this just kind of like spread like wildfire, and a lot of people still talk about that update even though it's been over a year since all of that has been resolved, kind of. They have changed the intro of the game, which disappointed a lot of people, but with time they have been recovering those storylines from the original intro, and they also promised right away on that month that they were going to reintroduce that same narrative and outfits in the future. So I would say 1.5 was proper terrible, but it got better. We are not in 1.5 anymore. That's my general advice for you. Like, if you are uncertain because of what happens, I would like to tell you it's been a whole year and we never had that again. So the best thing you could potentially do is just log into the game and try for yourself and make your own opinion. That's my recommendation. I can't decide for you whether the things that you're going to experience in the game is really proper good for you or not. I can only share my experience as a very much endgame player who has played every day, so you know all of the details about it. At least that's my point of view for this video. Then we have the bad stuff. First of all, like I mentioned earlier, is the die system. I love the die system, but I also hate it at the same time. It's a love-hate relationship here. It's a little difficult. The die system is so fun. It gives you so much freedom, but for you to actually save your color customization and use it on the overworld is a little bit annoying and you need to make a lot of choices. You can't just freely color every single piece that you want. They made so many weird little rules about these. So for example, you have the rarity of the outfits, and you may be thinking, why would outfits have rarity? This is kind of like what is similar to other gacha games. The 5-star stuff is better than the 4-star and the 3-star because they have access to more colors if you pull more copies of it. So let's say, for example, you have a full 5-star outfit like this one. This 5-star outfit is blue with white wings, but if I want to dye the dress, for example, so this is the original color, I can only dye it until this color palette here because I have the first evolution. However, as you can see here, I cannot dye this entire outfit in this shade of red here because I need the evolution 2, which means I will need to do 50 more pulls just to unlock these colors here, including the black color. So this is almost like the color palettes change per outfit, but this is almost like forcing you to pull more just to get more colors on the 5 stars, which is really, really annoying. The full stars have kind of like a similar system, but then the full stars don't have as many colors as the 5. They only have 13 total, even if you have all of the evolutions. So this is like, I don't know, they put, in my opinion, this is a bunch of limitations for literally no reason. Again, you can make an outfit with whatever color you want. So for example, again, I have this outfit, but I don't have the evolutions. So I cannot dye this outfit in black, but I can dye it here just to look at it and make an outfit. I can screenshot this and share on social media. I can also make a code of this outfit in black, even though I don't have black, and upload to my color lookbook or share to a friend, or just, you know, I can also click here on this button and take a screenshot on the open world. So you can do the outfit with the colors that you want, but to actually save it and use it every day, that's another story. And I think that's really annoying. I do have a lot of outfits that I dye a lot because we do have some free color palettes, which are the 6 first palettes. So these 6 here, brown, green, red, blue, these kind of like varied colors, and these cream colors, those are free. Everybody has access to them for free, and every piece has them. So let's say you grab a free outfit, like for example this one. This is a free outfit. You can dye this outfit in whatever color you want, but if you don't have the evolution yet, you can just come here and use the brown. For example, you're not going to spend anything. So I personally don't suffer as much because I love the combination of browns and greens. I love to make foresty adventure outfits, so I can really dye half of my outfits for free. I also love dark red with gold accents, which is super easy to do with these 2 palettes as well. And this one has like some nice lavender, nice blue, and nice pink that I personally like them. But if you want a full black outfit, that's going to be a pain for you because full stars don't have black, only 5 stars have, and then you need the evolutions for that. So dye system, super fun, amazing, love it, but I hate it because there's so many limitations that make no sense. But we do have surveys and they do listen to most of our complaints. So I really hope, like I have high hopes that in the future we'll have a better dye system, just like they improved other systems like the building system or the multiplayer system as well. Then we have demonetization. We do have tons of free pulls and free stuff, like I mentioned earlier, but the gacha, quite forgiving. It is 100% guarantee. There is no 50-50s. Each pull is only 120 gems, not 180 or 60 like other gacha games. And we do get around 100 pulls per update, and there is 12 updates per year, so it's a lot of updates. That's all fair and okay for a gacha. For gacha standards, it's not amazing that we're here having this kind of conversation. Should gachas even exist is a better question, but as far as gachas go, this gacha is not too bad in comparison. What I think the monetization here really fails to me is the store, the paid premium stuff. So not only you have the gacha banners that you can use free currency to pull on, but you also have the store, and this store brings a lot of cool stuff every single update, and most of them are paid with money. For example, the tiered pack, which is potentially one of the most expensive. Like a scarf is £1 in the UK. It's like £1.49 for just like a Momo cloak and a crown, you know? And then you get £2 more, you get the makeup set. So every update, there is like at least a minimum of 5 items on the store. So it's almost like you're buying pose and then you get an extra reward from it, which is nice. But I do think that there is a lot in the store. If you suffer of FOMO and you want to have everything, consider first if this is really the game for you. If you are free to play but you're fine with not having everything, then you're gonna love it. Personally, for me, that's not a major problem because there is no power creep here. Like, it doesn't really matter. It's just aesthetic. It's just digital clothing. It's just skins like we have in Fortnite. So in Fortnite, I don't have all of the skins, but I did buy some skins in the game, and I use the skins that I love the most. Here is the same thing, but we also get skins for free. You can definitely have fun and still enjoy every single game mechanic that there is. For the banners, the only thing that you have to know is how the gacha works, kind of. I'll make a separate video, which is actually a guide for beginners. This is a review video, not a guide, so I'm not going to go into detail. But the banners, they have 4 colors available. The first one, the second, which we call evolutions, and then we have this one here, and we have the final evolution. So the final evolution comes with alternative details, so you can shorten the dress and get like a different glow, for example. It depends on the banner, like each banner has different pieces. To get the first one, you just need to complete the outfit. It doesn't matter how many pulls that is. To get the second evolution or third color, you need to do 230 pulls necessarily. And to get the final evolution, you need to pull the entire outfit again, no matter how many pulls that takes. So let's say you finish the second copy in 231 pulls, then you get the final evolution. It has happened to me. I have gotten the outfits very quickly in some of the banners. Like, I've been really lucky. The real good benefit here about how the banner works is that, again, it's 100% guarantee, so you'll never get duplicate pieces until you complete the base outfit. And the other thing is that every 20 pulls, you get a 5-star. But that has a soft and hard pity on its own. So because you have, like, let's say 10 chances of getting soft pity, the probability, I think that's what I mean, of getting these outfits with very few pulls is big. Because every single piece, you have a chance of getting it early. So sometimes you do like a 10 pull when you get 2 5-star pieces, because their hard pity is just 20 pulls. So it's very common for you to finish an outfit around 150 pulls, 160 pulls. It very rarely goes all the way to the 200 because you have a high probability of getting early. Unless you're really unlucky, because that's how these things goes. Banners in the store are way more complicated than this, and this is a negative, like a problem and an issue on its own. Everything is really complicated by design. Oh yeah, and another problem that I forgot to mention is the many currencies. I know that many gachas suffer of this problem, but Infinity Nikki suffers even more. Like, in particular, I've never played a game with so many currencies because we have so many varied systems. We have blinks, which is just like the money, and then you have the particles for the eureka's. You have the swirl bubbles or whatever bubbles to upgrade your outfits, and then you have the premium stuff. You have the currency for your home, diamonds. You have, like, there's so much, which brings us to the end game content, and I want to share with you the experience that I personally have with the end game, with its issues and its upsides as well. And one of the first things that I want to talk about is the materials themselves. So aside from the currencies, we also have insane variety of materials. Materials that you can gather, materials that you can plant, fish that you can fish, pets that you can pet, bugs that you can catch, and so on. Like, there's so many materials. And I personally think, as an endgame player who has cleared most of the content, I would say there is a lack of purpose sometimes for these materials. They can be used to exchange for rewards every single day as part of your daily tasks, but you don't use as many as you can gather. Like, over time, the months pass by and you have accumulated so many of these materials. As you can see, my bag is completely full. I'll show you an example here. I could craft this brooch, but I'm only going to use 10 feathers and only 10 glass scales. Like, this is very little, like just 5 plants for 1 piece. I feel like they should up the quantity and also use more variety as well, just to motivate us to explore a little bit more. I feel like the numbers are never really big here. Like just 10 free. Well, this one is quite a lot, like 30 feathers. That's a lot. That's nice. And I feel like this would motivate us more. Like there is a lack of purpose, sort of, you know? Also, as a old-time player, I can say that creative expression is still the top. It's really the core of this game, and it's the most fun that I have from this game. Every single update, we are getting tons of free pieces and free things to get and customize with our outfits, our home building, and also taking photos. And it's just so nice. Like we get new poses, we get new props, we get new pieces. You can always make new outfits, new home builds. And honestly, like the creative expression is definitely the most fun. So if you're someone who likes to create and put things together like that, you're probably going to enjoy the game a lot. And of course, it's still, as an endgame player, I still believe that exploration is the top as well. Like this is so good. The fact that they release maps 4 times a year is insane to me. I mentioned already, I talked too much already about exploration in this video, but it's just to really reinforce that I personally believe that creative expression and world exploration are really what this game is about. And if you enjoy those things, you're probably gonna like it a lot. Another thing that gives a lot of life to the game itself is the co-op. I really enjoy playing co-op with my spouse and with you guys, the viewers on streams. We do so many different things. We take photos together, we explore together. I'm someone who doesn't enjoy co-op and multiplayer usually. I'm more of a single player kind of person, but in this game I really don't mind, and even on the contrary, I actually enjoy doing these things, especially on stream. So I really love that aspect. If you have someone like a significant other you want to play with, you're definitely gonna have so much fun. Then we have the lookbook, and the lookbook is a place where you can check other people's outfits, and you can even use those outfits if you want to, if you have the pieces, of course. So let's say you like this outfit, you can click on this button and you can copy that dye customization, like the color customization. The only problem of the lookbook, I love this idea, this is fantastic. You can also see the photos. The only problem is that, as you can witness right now, it is extremely laggy. They really need to improve the performance of this feature specifically. I know it must be hard to load all of these pictures, all of these like HD files all the time, but they really need to have a look at this because it is so laggy that makes me not want to click on it sometimes. But it's so nice. It's almost like a little social media for you, Nikki. Like, look at this picture. This is amazing. Like, what the heck? I don't know this person, but I could add them from here. I could just like their picture. I could save their picture. I could share with someone else, like through the messages. You can just click here and send to a friend through the in-game chatting message system. So I love that. I think this is so cool. They need to work on it a little bit more in terms of performance and just keep polishing this feature, because I think this is a really nice way to connect with others and also see their outfits and so on. Sometimes you're not feeling as creative and you can just have a look at the lookbook and you can get an idea, or you can meet other people and more. You know, I think the lookbook is a really nice aspect that connects to the co-op and also the creative expression. Then we have the Mirror Crown Merit Arena and the Mirror Crown Styling Contest. This is your quote-unquote spiral abyss in Genshin Impact, for example, or your train in the NT. So this is the end game of the end game, and it's so freaking easy. I love that. This is the best end game there is, because when you log in here, the first 5 rounds are instantly cleared because you already cleared it once, so you don't have to do all of them again, and you just need to do the last 4 here. Yeah, up to 4 actually, and then you do like just round 5, 6, 7, and 8. And essentially all this is you have to dress up your Nikki to match these requirements, and once you do, you get the rewards. Then we have another in-game content for the completionists. You will suffer. Just know, we have this thing called Eureka in the game, which is these accessories that you can wear around the map if you want. So you have all sorts of Eurekas. You have like these balloons. Sometimes you have like these masks, and they are really cool. Some of them have amazing effects, and you can use them for taking photos or making your outfit look cooler, or just as a kind of like a magic effect that, you know, if you want to, as you run around the world. The problem with the Eurekas is that they have different colors. As you can see, I have this book in blue and yellow and purple and green, and also the iridescent, which is a special amazing color, special effects, rainbow, sparkly, whatever Eureka. How do you get that? You upgrade your Eurekas. However, to get all of the color variations of the Eurekas, there is no pity. It's completely random. So you could do 200 Eurekas and never get an iridescent, or you could do 5 and get the iridescent right away. This is pure gamba. okay? And if you get easily addicted to that and you're a completionist, you need to keep this in mind because this is the proper end game. It is so hard to complete these. I feel like they should add a pity system, even if it's like an absurd pity, like, oh, you have to do 100 Eureka's to guarantee an iridescent, whatever. Like, just give me some limits to this because this is like, this drives you insane after a while. But some of them are really cool. Like, look at this. That's so awesome. Love this one. I was lucky to get this. And another piece of endgame content that I absolutely love, one of the best additions that they've done, this is sort of recent, is the glow ups. So the glow ups essentially is when you level up your outfit so it goes better on the stylish challenges. Like it attributes more points to it. It's kind of like the artifacts or accessories and weapons that you can get in other gachas. So this game here, you level up your outfit pieces. But the really cool thing is that not only you want to always grind for upgrading these, you get an extra piece of each when you do. So when I level up this outfit, I get an alternate color for free. This is really, really cool. I love that they did this. This gives you an extra color. It's an extra color that you can dye and change the colors as well. So sometimes they dye really well, these glow ups, and it's completely free. Doesn't even matter if you have the full outfit or not. You could have a singular piece. You can still level up that specific piece and you will get an extra free color, like without having to pull anymore, you know? And I really love that they did this. This is an amazing system. It does consume a lot of materials, which motivates you to grind more. And overall, I think that this was an amazing system that they implemented. I really, really love this. This is something that you will be doing a lot as a endgame player. And of course, like as an endgame player, after you explored every corner of the map and you completed every quest, you will have a reduced number of things to do. Of course, this happens with every game, really. No game is infinite, although this is Infinity Nikki. You will do your dailies every single day in under 5 minutes. The dailies are so extremely quick. It's stuff like spend your energy, which is a singular click, and level up your Eureka, that's a singular click, and take a photo, that's a singular click. So they're extremely fast, which I really appreciate because not everyone has tons of free time to just do the dailies on their gachas every day. So I really appreciate that. And again, creative expression and world exploration is the core. So even when you completed and explored every corner, you can still make new outfits, build a new house, and explore the world to take photos in beautiful places. Like the map is designed for you to take photos as well. Everywhere you look at, it's just like, it's almost like you're doing like a touristic sightseeing or something, because look how gorgeous this is. Like everywhere is just so nice. You always find new little details. And I think that this really adds to the longevity of the game and makes the end game content more interesting. So really appreciate that as well as an end game player. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about is the community. Last but not least, because the Infinity Nikki community is one of the best. Oh, there is a bird here. Okay. Sorry. I guess I got in his spot. I don't know. All right. I really did. Oh, he flew by. Okay, anyways, what I was talking about, the Infinity Nikki community is seriously one of the best. It's hard to find gaming communities, above all, that are not extremely toxic. You have some toxic people, you also have some toxic positivity people. There is a little bit of everything, of course, but the majority, I would say, is a lot of really cooperative, kind, and sweet people. One of the best that I have ever met online, at least. And I really mean it. When you go to like Reddit or the official Discord, you also rarely find people fighting over meaningless things. What you really find a lot is people sharing their photos, their outfits, their builds, talking to each other, sharing tips with each other, and it's really wholesome. And it's also very active. Although I do feel like there isn't that many players to Infinity Nikki, which is actually what motivated me to do this video. I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on this game, and I imagine it's due to all of the damage, insane damage that was done last year during the infamous 1.5 update. But I really hope that more people can join in and share this, this fun with each other. I also have a really good time with my streams. I stream 5 times a week, and we have runway parties and share streams where viewers can share their builds and their lookbooks. We have, some fun, crazy moments as well, and there is no competition. It's just really wholesome and really sweet, and I really appreciate that. And I feel like that's something that can be a really positive thing for some people. And of course, we also have a lot of exciting stuff that we are waiting for. So far, the company has promised a lot of stuff that they have delivered. They haven't finished delivering all of their promises from last year, but they have delivered most of them by now. We're still waiting on a few things like inviting NPCs to our home and also the reintroduction of that old 1.5 outfits with that story that was removed back then. But those things were promised all around the same time. So I'm confident that they can deliver on the fixes now. You know, I wasn't very confident like 6 months ago, I'll be honest. But like today, I'm more confident that I can see this game heading over to an even better direction, if that makes sense. I'm feeling more and more confident, more excited about the future. And we do have a lot that we are looking for in the future as well to be added to the updates. So I would say, of course, there is many facts mixed with personal opinion on this video, but I try to be as clear and direct as possible about the things that I really love and that I really hate about this game. And honestly, at the end of the day, it's up to you to decide if your priorities align with mine and the things that I brought up do excite or stop you from trying this game. But I tried my best to just, summarize my very much old player experience with this game. I still like this game a lot. I love it. It's one of the main games that I play right now, and I do intend to keep playing. I still think it's a fantastic game. I think the exploration and the creative expression through outfits and through home building, which is something that I really enjoy, is just top-notch, one of the best from games that I played. I do think that the story is getting better, although I wasn't very into it last year. This year was a lot better, so I'm getting more excited about the lore part. I'm more of a lore player, so I really care about that. And yeah, I personally really recommend this game, unless you're really young or can't really deal with gacha mechanics in general, because this is, at the end of the day, still a gacha game. So you need to really not suffer of FOMO, and you need to really accept that you can't have every single outfit without spending. But if you are fine with those things and you do think like myself, like, oh, this is just aesthetic, it's just digital clothing, I don't really care that much, you're gonna have the best time because there's so much content to experience and it's all really fun. So if you do play, let me know down below. If you're not going to play, let me know down below as well. The reasons why I'm very interested on hearing, and I hope this video was helpful. And sorry if it was a little bit long. I feel like I yapped a lot about exploration. I'm probably going to remove some parts of that. Oh, hey everyone, sorry. Before finishing the video, I actually forgot to show the Momo cloaks and also to say two things. One is that this video is massive. Okay, it was way more massive than I initially planned for it, so sorry about that. But also keep in mind, I didn't even touch upon every single aspect and mechanic of the game. Like, there is even more than I couldn't share here because apparently I yapped too much. Also, I have received multiple comments already asking me to do tier lists of the outfits and of the abilities, and I think that's going to be really useful for new players, so I will make a proper video very soon. But I have done this on live streams multiple times during last year, but because I haven't done one recently, I'll do a new one very soon and include all of the new outfits on that as well, as soon as I can. Besides the tier list video, I'll also do a guide for beginners, teach you all of the very confusing stuff. So I'll be working on these two videos and I'll post them as soon as I can. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to all of the members and patrons who support the channel and make these videos possible. And see you on the next one.
Ryan Little.